Hi, I'm John Shackelford, and today we get to talk about Russia, specifically the Russian Revolution. Roll the intro. Russia has always been known for their kindness and understanding towards its citizens, said no Russian citizen ever. Even today, their leader is accused of being oppressive. Recently, he's been accused of tampering with the election of Putin. Why, I didn't mean it. You're the best. I've never seen the approval rating of citizens be so high that it was definitely untampered with. Oh, good, he's gone. Did you see his eyes? Scary. The poor treatment of Russian citizens dates back to circa the year 860, when the Rus were the predominant civilization in Russia. In that civilization, whenever a citizen failed to pay their debts to the country, they were bound to their land for life, as they were very focused on agriculture. Although this worked well for the Rus, the trend of beating citizens until they submitted to the country eventually leads to revolution. This trend continued through the era of the Tsars, who were autocratic and harsh. Alexander III in particular encouraged strict censorship, no minority language, and violence against Jews, which frankly did not go well with the Russian citizens, but were willing to put up with it because they thought of him as a strong leader. However, when he gave up the title of Tsar to Nicholas II, things did not go as well. He led the country into the Russo-Japanese War, which was a large loss for the country of Russia. His failure sparked the unrest of many of his citizens, and they lost confidence in the position of Tsar. Then in World War I, Nicholas II stopped caring about the lives of his citizens purely to show the power of Russia, oftentimes giving one row of soldiers a weapon and telling the soldiers behind them to wait until they had died to pick up the weapon and continue fighting. This act caused many Russian soldiers to revolt or flat out leave the war. This series of actions led to Bloody Sunday, where a group of peaceful citizens were protesting the rule of the Tsar. The Tsar had sent soldiers to suppress the riots. While suppressing the protests, the soldiers began to fire on the citizens, which enraged the citizens even further, and eventually forced the Tsar to give more freedom to the citizens. Despite the freedoms they now had, the citizens grew tired of still having a Tsar in control, and began to organize revolutions. Alexander Kerensky pushed for a provisional government, which promised to stay in World War I, which the people did not like. Although he held control for a few years, Vladimir Lenin arranged a revolution led by, wait for it, the Bolsheviks. With his system, the government would own the land, the businesses, and even the citizens. Although the people supported this system, as they would all be ensured what they needed to survive, along with equal pay and rights. Oh, it's time for the open letter? An open letter to the Bolsheviks. But first, what's in the secret compartment? Wow, Staminians. You know, these guys are just like the Bolsheviks. They push for communism and all. Like, they're all the same. They all have the same wage, nothing, and you know they all work to serve their leader, Putin. Dear Bolsheviks, thank you for inspiring one of my favorite movies. Best wishes, John Shackelford. Lenin's ideals led to the toppling of the provisional government, and in November 1917, Lenin signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk, which brought peace with Germany and took Russia out of World War I. Not long after, a Russian civil war broke out lasting 5 years, between the Bolsheviks, or the Red Army, and everyone else, the White Army. The Bolsheviks won, and it caused many casualties for the White Army. However, not all was lost for the White Army. Lenin realized that there was dissatisfaction with his citizens, and he made some improvements to his government. He allowed more private ownership of things, such as businesses, land, and private property. He also made reforms to his government, renaming the state from USSR to the Soviet Union. He also renamed the Bolshevik Party to the Communist Party. After his death, Joseph Stalin took over the government from him. Stalin introduced his 5-year plans, which were made to boost the economy of Russia and make an industrial superpower of the USSR. Due to this, Russians needed more land and would need to conquer more areas. In order to accomplish this, they teamed up with Germany and started to imperialize, taking over colonies in Poland. But that leads into World War II, which is a different video. Yup. Thank you for watching Collision Curriculum. The executive producer of the show was Ethan Kaysen. Writer and historian was John Shackelford. Associate producer was Ethan Kaysen. Editors are John and Ethan. Script supervisor was me. It's John. Yeah. Arm's tired. Alright.
Is that it?
We're done.
Glad to hear. Jesus Christ, that was loud.
Shut up.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot how heavy that is.
Wow, that was pretty loud.
It's fine.
Alright.